The board will reopen the meeting at 7:13 p.m. Return to open session at 7:13 p.m. We'll start with our flag salute. Mr. Chin.
Please rise. Right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Report on closed session. During closed session, the Board of Education took the following actions on a motion by Donna Friedman and a second by Carrie Chin. The Board of Education voted 5-0 to approve a settlement agreement with employee number DE 4950082, which includes resignation from employment in the Rowland Unified School District. The vote of the board was as follows. Angelina Pride, yes. Lynn Ebenkamp, yes. Carrie Chin, yes. Donna Friedman, yes. David Malkin, yes. On a motion by Carrie Chin and a second by Lynn Ebenkamp, the Board of Education voted 4-0 with one abstention to approve the agreement with employee number MH0219389, which includes a one-day unpaid suspension. The vote of the board was as follows. Angelina Pride abstained due to a conflict for personal reasons. Lynn Ebenkamp, yes. Carrie Chin, yes. Donna Friedman, yes. David Malkin, yes. On a motion by David Malkin and a second by Donna Friedman, the Board of Education voted 5-0 to hear the complaint of employee number UA2724794 in accordance with Administrative Regulation 1312.1. The vote of the board was as follows. Angelina Pride, yes. Lynn Ebenkamp, yes. Carrie Chin, yes. Donna Friedman, yes. David Malkin, yes. The board would like to recognize and thank the Hollingworth Elementary students, parents, staff, and community members for providing refreshments at tonight's board meeting. Next, we'll move into our reports, starting with our superintendent report. Dr. Mitchell.
Great, thank you. So this morning, how's that for a start? This evening, the Board of Education is proud of our 7 California Gold Ribbon schools. This is the state's highest designation for outstanding educational programs and practices. The board and I are honored for the hard work of the staff at Hollingworth Elementary, Jellick Elementary, Shellen Elementary, Stanley G. Oswalt Academy, Tillis Academy of Science and Math, Villacorta Elementary, and Ybarra Academy. We have honored them with staff celebrations, so we have met with our district office staff, and board members have gone out and honored the staff of those 7 schools with cake and goodies to recognize their accomplishments. And we are also in the process of doing community celebrations. And so we have completed 2 of the 7 thus far, and we're very much looking forward to the 5 remaining so that we can celebrate with the students and the community as a whole. We also will be honored, our district and our 7 schools will be honored May 24th at a luncheon ceremony that will be held in Los Angeles. Hopefully you'll be seeing many bumper stickers around because for our Gold Ribbon schools as well, they all are receiving bumper stickers, and there's new signage that's happening across all of our campuses, and we're starting with our Gold Ribbon schools so that the community recognizes the achievements and accomplishments of our campuses and of our schools. Also wanted to share that Thursday night, May 12th, we are excited to hold our District Parent Tech Night so the parents can learn about different technology applications that are used in the district for instructional purposes and how they can help us support 21st century learning at home with their child. It takes place at 6:30 and will be held at Rowland Elementary School. Also this weekend, we have a busy weekend. We have students from Santana High School and students from Nogales High School that are taking part in the 2016 Solar Boat Competition. So both schools have put together teams, have built boats, and will be competing at Lake Skinner this weekend. And this is also working with, and I want to make sure I get the right water district as we go, it's Three Valleys Water. Is helping to sponsor both of the schools in this competition. So we look forward to hearing about the accomplishments of our students at that competition and are very proud of the efforts. They've been fundraising and working for a long period of time in preparing for this. The district is also pleased to honor and recognize our outstanding employees of the year. On Wednesday, May 18th at the Diamond Bar Community Center, we'll hold the Rowland Unified Employee Recognition Dinner, where we will recognize our classified and certificated employees of the year from each school site, as well as our 2016-17 district employees of the year. And those are teacher Nancy Buck from Jellick Elementary is our district certificated employee of the year. Office assistant Paula DiMatteo from Rowland High School is our district classified employee of the year. And Principal Annette Ramirez from Ybarra Academy of the Arts and Technology is our District Administrator of the Year. Graduation is right around the corner. We're getting ready for graduation. And so on Tuesday, May 31st, the Rowland Adult Education graduation will take place at 7 p.m. at the Rowland Heights Community Center. Also on Thursday, June 2nd, is graduation for Nogales High School and for Rowland High School. Also this evening, I would like to introduce 2 new employees to the public. The board has an opportunity to meet these nice additions to our Rowland staff. But we have day 2 on the job for Adriana Lopez. Adriana is our Assistant Director of Nutrition Services, and she just completed her 2nd day on the job. So Adriana is coming to support us in our nutrition services work and working with Maria Davila, our Director of Nutrition Services. So Adriana, welcome.
I'm very excited to be here. This is my second day on the job, and it's been action-packed already. But it's been wonderful. I'm very happy to be here. I'm honored to have been selected for the Assistant Director position of Nutrition Services. Nutrition is my passion, specifically student nutrition. It's so important to be healthy and eat healthy so you can learn and be, a superstar in the classroom. So I'm here to support Maria, our Director of Nutrition Services, in any way that I can to achieve the most nutritious and delicious meals for all of the students all over the district. So I'm really honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We also have Ryan Burke. Ryan Burke is the principal at Blandford Elementary, and Ryan started on April 1st, and it was no April Fool's joke. It was a real deal. And so Ryan was already here earlier this evening to take place in some student recognitions. But it's my pleasure this evening to introduce Ryan Burke, the principal at Blandford Elementary, to our guests here at the board.
Thank you very much. So I have my 4-year-old with me. She's eating an Oreo, so I have just as much time until she's finished. So I will keep this brief. I want to, first of all, thank you, Dr. Mitchell, and the board for bringing me on board here at Rowland. It's been a wonderful experience. I am thrilled to be the instructional leader at Blandford Elementary. It's an amazing school, an amazing group of teachers, students, parents. We are working on many initiatives right now, and it's only been my 5th week, I suppose, so it's still not quite 2 days, but it's early on in the job. I enjoy it, so it's truly an honor, and I just want to thank everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's all for this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Mitchell. Next, we'll go into our student board representatives reports. We'll start with Santana High School. Elizabeth.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Mitchell, and members of the audience. Sometimes life is a terrible roller coaster. It has its ups and downs, but regardless of how low you fall, there will always be an opportunity to rise. This year, our goal was to collect 200 pints of blood. Sadly, we didn't have the opportunity to have the 3 blood drives as we planned. Instead, we had 2, but I'm happy to say that overall we collected 162 pints of blood, and those are already lives saved. And just as expected, our goals were for 10% of the campus to donate, but 35 donated it, so that was really good. Though there are many things going on in the month of May, this weekend the solar boat will be ready for takeoff at, as Miss Julie Mitchell just mentioned, and Santana students are ready to take home first place this year, so come support the crew as we show the community what Santana is capable of. Speaking about end of the year events, 38 Santana Eagles took an important step forward this year by graduating early and setting an awesome example for the rest of us. As I mentioned before, learning should be an experience worth remembering, which is why our history classes will be taking a field trip to the World History Propaganda exhibit. Mr. Schlarman and Ms. Guzman will be both participating in the Science Agriculture Fair next week, where student-created booths that will be displayed and recognized by the public. We're hoping to take home the blue ribbon. We will. When I first came to Santana, I was worried that I would have to deal with a lot of drugs and alcohol, and that everybody at Santana would be, they just wouldn't have the passion for continuing their education. But I came to find that being in Santana didn't have to be a bad experience. I got to meet amazing people and had the opportunity to join the ASB team. Being in ASB helped me improve the way I look at life. It's small actions that I took that helped me realize that it was time for me to move on with my life and do something better with myself. Santana High School has an amazing group of teachers who go out of their way every day to make a difference in a student's life. I want to take the opportunity to thank all the teachers here today, like Ms. Blackler and Ms. Guzman, for going out of your way. So thank you. I also want to thank the board for having to listen to me every month with my annoying voice. I want to take time to thank you guys, and I feel really grateful for being here. It's been a great experience, and I'm hoping to take my education forward. So I want to thank you guys, and I'm happy to say that I'm going to graduate next month. So I'm going to give the president's spot to someone else, but whoever comes, I know they'll do a great job. So thank you.
Thank you, and we'll miss you too. Next, we have from Nogales High School, Laura Martinez.
Good evening, Madam President, Superintendent Dr. Mitchell, members of the Cabinet, and members of the audience. My name is Laura Martinez, and I'm here tonight to represent Nogales High School. The end of the year is practically here, and all students and staff have been preparing for this moment. There has been multiple IB and AP exams occurring throughout the past week, and continuing next week as well. But luckily, some students have had the opportunity of finishing their SAT test already. This has been a major stressing period for most of our school, and it's driven most noble to the breaking point. But there has been one particular event that has motivated almost every junior and senior, and that is Prom 2016. This event will take place this Saturday, May 14th, at the Springfield Banquet Center. In preparation for this event, there has been lunchtime activities this week announcing the top 10 nominees for Prom King and Queen. Seniors don't only need to look forward to this one event, but as well Senior Recreation Night on May 23rd and Senior Memory Night, and finally Grad Night and graduation on June 2nd. On May 4th, the CSF Club had the Star Wars reading at our library, which opened the event to the entire community. It was a great success, and the kids that went looked extremely forward to coming next year. The following day, the choir concert and senior night took place. The choir was the first organization to have an activity in the multi-purpose room in our school. All those who attended had a great time listening to all our nobles. Another amazing concert was the one produced by the Emeralds team. It was based off of Broadway entitled New York State of Mind. The show was brilliant because of the Emeralds' passion and effort. This team wants performance like this to continue, so that is why they have held tryouts just like other organizations have been doing. The Emeralds dance team hopes that all those who wanted to join had the opportunity to show off their best skills. Our Nogales ASB program has been contacting themselves with other middle schools to start promoting their great leadership class that they have with their favorite advisor, Ms. Nelson. The first school they presented was at Oswald. There they had a lot of fun interactions with the school's own leadership. We hope that the next year looks even brighter than the great year we've had so far. Thank you, and see you next year.
Thank you, Laura. We're forward to seeing you back. Next, from Rowland High School, we have Jonathan Huth. Oh, you've turned it over already?
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Mitchell, and members of the audience. My name is Leah Kwachi, and I am the new student representative for Rowland High School. Recently, we've had a performing arts rally during lunch. This included the drumline team, dance club, choir, color guard, and orchestra, and it was to support the performing arts department. Many students enjoyed the show, and it was at the stage during lunch. We've also had the choir pop show in the hideout, and it was full of like singing and dancing, and it was a full audience, and a lot of people enjoyed it as well. Last week, we've had Teacher Appreciation Week, where we appreciated the teachers and the staff's work for our school, and each day we've had like a gift or like a poster for the staff. Upcoming events are Powder Puff. This is where the junior girls and senior girls play football against each other at the football stadium. This will be on May 20th at 6:30 p.m. On that same day is the senior end of the year assembly. This is to award the seniors who have excelled in academic. There will also be like singing and dancing performances, and there will also be a slideshow of photos and like memories from the past 4 years. And senior final exams will be held 24th through 26th of May. And senior day will be on the 26th of May. It will include like activities like Mr. 2016, the senior talent show, a hypnotist show, and free lunch. This will commence during, this will like award like the seniors and just to like really end off the year. Graduation is on June 2nd, and graduation night is at Disneyland on June 1st. Thank you.
Thank you. We look forward to seeing you next year, and Jonathan, we'll miss you. But Jonathan, Elizabeth, and Laura, if you guys can come up here, and Board, if you can come down, we'd like to recognize them for their service.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. Absolutely. The receiving line. Just on behalf of the Board of Education and myself, we'd like to thank the three of you for coming to all of our meetings and sharing with us all of the exciting things that are happening at your schools. You've helped us stay in touch with everything that's happening and providing us with your monthly reports. We know it's a bit of work for you and keeping up with your studies and your assignments, but then also staying here and keeping us updated and informed. We visit our schools often. All of our board members are out and about on our campuses. But to have you here and sharing the details from the student life perspective is very, very helpful for us. So thank you for giving of yourself to help us. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much.
Bye-bye. Good luck with your finals. Study hard.
Thank you.
Piece of cake, you got it.
Next, we'll have public comments. Written requests to address the board. Remarks are limited to 3 minutes unless extended further or limited by vote of the board. A maximum of 20 minutes unless extended by the board is allocated for each subject discussed. Ordinarily, board members will not respond to presentations and no action can be taken. However, the board may give direction to staff following a presentation. Shay Loman.
Go Shay.
Start that clock.
It's time to call your name.
Good evening, board. We have a lot of recognizing to do, and only 3 minutes to do it, so I guess I'll get into it. First, I wanted to thank, and they left, I wanted to thank the Santana student body for hosting a blood drive, and a special recognition to their advisor, and she's gone too, LaDonna Guzman, who goes above and beyond all the time to provide a quality educational experience for her students. I also want to thank Dr. Mitchell and Ms. Healy for hosting a fantastic student recognition ceremony that took place earlier this evening. Continuing with this same path, I'd like to thank Mr. Flores and the entire fiscal and administrative team. You guys have been burning the midnight oil to make sure that our employees are paid in a timely manner, and we recognize that and we appreciate that, so please carry that to your entire team for us. I'd also like to thank Dennis Bixler and the entire human resource team, including Zupur. We deal with a lot, and it gets a little hairy sometimes, but they're always a phone call away and willing to work through some of the very complicated issues that we have to work to. A few other people, Scott Jensen, Brian Huff, Frank Chang, Miriam Kim, Mari, just thank you guys. You guys are always willing to contact us, call us. Brian did this morning. He didn't have to, but he called to say, just want to let you know there's a change that's about to take place. And so we appreciate that and recognize that change. So thank you guys for that. Now for the board. Thank you for all you do. It's a thankless job, but I do want to say on behalf of the 700 teachers, we see the work that you guys are doing and we appreciate it. So specifically, Mr. Malkin, thank you for me personally, for the great education discussions that we tend to have. It's very much appreciated. And thank you for coming to Rep Council and recognizing our teachers on the National Day of the Teacher. Ms. Friedman, I'm sorry if I'm doing it, but Ms. Friedman is retiring from her classroom after years and was thoughtful enough to take the materials that it's left and allow them for donation to our teachers. And just thank you. That token is very much appreciated. Mr. Chen, thank you for attending our CTA Common Core Conference. But on top of that, Mr. Chen participated in the conference and stayed the entire time. So that's impressive. Thank you for that. Ms. Evankamp, thank you for always having the best interests of our community in mind. You were involved in everything, it seems like. But your knowledge, your history in the community, your background, it's a great asset to our team, and thank you. Ms. Pride, thank you for your commitment to improving our USD. When you were a teen mom, you said, I'm not going to sit on the sideline anymore, I'm going to evoke change. And I think you could definitely be proud of the work that you were doing. But finally, as we wrap up the school year, I want to thank the community. 3 years ago, you guys made a change. The community voted to make a change on the school board, and I can tell you that that change is happening, and it is good. So thank you for a fantastic school year, and we look forward to the 2016-17 school year. So thank you.
Perfect timing. Next, Rory Humphreys.
Thank you.
Okay, for my random act of helpfulness here, we must note that the first video of the Rowland Unified School District Personnel Commission is currently on the YouTube site, and you'll really want to see it. You might want to see it twice because it reinforces some of your worst fears and decades of administrative malfeasance, and it is well worth watching. The failure of the superintendent to make IT, information technology, priority one on day one, jointly with forensic audit, accounting team insertion bears its ugly head again. The FACMAT 2008 findings here, which I'm glad to give anybody a copy of, the ones that on information technology and so forth, has been painfully long and slow in accommodation to that standard. Instead, a system-wide analysis has failed to be done with an implementation of a master plan to that extent, and instead we have the dark ages approach of a piecemeal operation. Tonight, the board will take into consideration 6A and 6B, which is on audio and video aspect and recording, so forth. And the old guard wants to be 21st century in name only, instead of come to, and there's a long dissertation on that. And also to note that within our structure of the Rowland Unified School District is called the organizational chart, and who's at the very top? It's the community. You serve the community first, and everything else will fall in its place for everything for the students on down. It's a part of the, we're still waiting for the updated organizational chart. A public notification on the marquees of the board meetings is still, and Mr. Chen mentioned that at the last board meeting, still hasn't been happening. Again, it's a disservice to the community. The fact that the board does not have an office here within the district offices with their own computer terminals to access any and all information is a disservice to you. And it raises the question is, who's wagging the tail? Okay, how can you do your job if you can't have access to all of the facts? And also on the, there's the most important to note that the board, you can be friendly with the administration, but you cannot be friends. You cannot serve two masters, and you must be able to make critical decisions at any time. And also we come to the point, I want to thank board member Malcolm for educating me on the Personnel Commission situation. It was very helpful today in trying to do some research on that particular issue. And also, you don't have to be a genius, well, maybe that's a little take back on that, or a PhD. You don't even have to have a college education to run one of the best school districts in the world. And that's all we have to do is note that a gentleman called Marcus Goldman founded arguably the highest rated and sustaining financial institution on planet Earth. He was a peddler and had a 9th grade education. And we could go and take that on other measures. Oh, I'm out of time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Humphreys. Kathy Connaughton.
Good evening, Madam President, Board, and I'm a community member as well as a teacher in Rowland, and my kids went through Blandford, Alvarado, and Rowland High School. My daughter has a PhD in psychology, and my son's a successful businessman. Makes more money than I do, so he's successful. The reason I bring that up is because they went through the system and they reached their goals because of what they got in the school district. Currently, we're going through curriculum development, and I know that we've gone from No Child Left Behind to Common Core, and our emphasis is different. We're really looking at language and literacy, and we're honing into listening, speaking, reading, and writing, and at the same time trying to give rigorous lessons, which is very, very important. So our target before was, improvement in schools, but now it's improvement of student performance. It should have been that way always, but we're really, really looking at student performance. As a result of the shift in target, I and my fellow teachers are looking to leadership that is committed to the important idea of focusing on the development of student skills that will enable them to follow their God-given destiny. We look for leaders who have faith in the process to develop the student by promoting positive change. Leaders who look for the underlying causes of failure, or as Stephanie Pace Marshall says, the understory of how a problem developed. As a part of the process, we hope the leaders understand the problems and are able to link the solutions and innovations to impact education. In my view, the purpose of good curriculum development is to improve the opportunity for all the children, whatever their backgrounds are in our schools. I, as a community member and teacher, do not want curriculum development to reflect a process that's checked off by the solution procedures without really knowing what the underlying problems are. I am looking forward to a strong leadership team who has worked out a strategic plan that reflects the data and demographics, looking for the underlying causes that has impacted poor student performance. I look forward to the curriculum leadership team to be the pilots and the command center, so to speak, the decision makers who place and consult with in-house district experts who will meet strategic goals at targeted checkpoints. In conclusion, if we're ever to improve and give students a quality education, then we should include these fundamentals in improving and developing our curriculum. We have good people here. I'm just saying, refocus on those things and make sure that that gets done.
Thank you, Kathy. Sharing Maria. Thank you. Good evening. I would like to congratulate our 7 gold ribbon schools. This is such a great honor. Even for those of us that don't work at the school sites, we still share in the pride that comes with this highest of honors. We are proud to be a part of the Rowland family. I want to also mention what a success the Leadership Academy has been. We have learned so much, and many are feeling more comfortable in being leaders in our district. This academy was brought forward by Julie. I want to say thank you for doing this. I know it was a lot of work, and your hard work has not gone unnoticed. Thank you. I want to thank our Fiscal Services Department for going above and beyond. The department is always on top of all things related to money, but especially at this time in processing the retro and one-time off-salary schedule payment. This is a time-intensive project, and their dedication and extra hours are very much appreciated. Although this information is not official yet, I hear that these checks will be issued much earlier than expected. CSEA will be acknowledging the staff and fiscal services with some goodies to show our appreciation, as well as provide them with some extra energy to keep adding extra dollars to our paychecks. In the meantime, Alex, could you please share our thanks and gratitude to the Fiscal Services Department for all they do every day? They are very much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you, Sharon. Next, we'll move on to our discussion action items. Approve a contract agreement between PrimeNet Data Systems, Inc. and Rowland Unified School District for the installation of new audio system for district boardroom. At the meeting of March 8th, 2016, the board requested an item be brought forward to update the audio system in the boardroom. The current system is antiquated and significantly outdated, requiring a full replacement of all audio equipment.
So move.
I didn't ask for a motion yet. get a motion to approve a contract agreement between PrimeNet Data System, Inc. and RUSD for the installation of new audio equipment in the boardroom? Have a motion by Carrie Chin. A second by Donna Friedman. Discussion? Dr. Mitchell, did you have anything to add? Okay. Ms. Friedman?
I wanted to ask later down on the line, if we wanted video, would this be appropriate to add the video to this audio?
Yes, yes, this audio we've set up that we wanted to add video to it, yes.
And can we do it online on Rowland School District's online, the website?
The audio, could we
Yes,
put
the
it like an
audio.
MP4 audio based on this? We could, yes. Yes, because this would be all digital, yes.
Mr. Chin?
I have a reason why I'm so excited to move. We gave me time after the meeting, and I got a phone call from the community members and okay, you need to talk louder. Can I hear you? So I realized we need a better equipment, long time. So I'm glad to see this on the table tonight.
Mr. Malkin?
I was just wondering if you can just go into a little bit more detail as to what we had discussed as far as the number of microphones, the moving of the rack, and what needs to be done up here, so they have a better appreciation of what the work, the scope of the work that's representing the cost.
Certainly, sure. So in terms of looking at the scope of work includes all new microphones at the dais, so the 7 new microphones here at the dais. It also includes the 2 lapel or wireless mics, 2 microphones that could be used at that table or at any other table should we have a different configuration that's set up that would be wired. New podium microphone and audio system there. As well as all new speakers that would be in the boardroom, in the kitchen room, and in the patio. So this afternoon we had student recognition and we had all 3 areas were full. And so we would have audio that would be able to be in all 3 of those areas. It also includes all new cabling and wiring. So there does require, this is different from the audio quote, but we need to remove the top and the front of the dais in order to get in to do the cabling, and the wiring that you see at the front would be removed and would be placed so it's not right in front of the dais. Also, the rack that is behind me is being moved, and it would be located back in the kitchen area, so it would be off the dais, and it would be upgrading everything to digital files, digital audio files, and no longer cassette tapes.
And was there any consideration that we had 2 wireless and the rest would be wired, that they wouldn't do all wireless?
There was some conversation, but when you have so many wireless microphones that are so close together, you get feedback from them. And so they felt that it would be a better sound quality if they were
To move forward, to not move
Okay.
forward, to...
I'll make a motion to table this item.
There's a motion on the floor to table this item. Is there a second?
I second.
There's a second to table it. Any discussion? Mr. Malkin?
Yes, I would like that. First of all, I was under the impression that due to the cost really hasn't changed since we had our last discussion on this, as far as the videotaping. It was still in that range of $77,000, and I got the feeling from people here that they thought that that was too high and they preferred that money to go to direct services to students. So when I asked for a recommendation, I asked for a cafeteria plan, and later that was changed to develop to provide options for videotaping and recording. And the options we got are to do nothing, to make improvements, or the third list. But what I was looking for is options as far as cost. Is there an option we can do it for $20,000? An option we can do it for $30,000? An option we can do it for $50,000? And then the board can determine whether or not we wanted to do it at a lower cost by leaving certain things out or accepting certain equipment. The only analogy I can give is that we all would like to drive a Rolls Royce to work every day, but we need to get to work. That's not a choice. And so we drive a Honda or a cheaper car that we can afford. And maybe right now, we're not ready as a board to accept the Rolls Royce of videotaping. The other thing is, I went out and just spoke to a couple of people, and I made an error in the sense that there was a vendor in Rowland that does Google training and how to use Google to maximize your business, and does training for Google, and found out that we could stream our meetings using Google, and it would stream live and then be saved immediately on a hard drive that could be uploaded wherever we wanted to upload it. And it could be done with high definition wireless cameras. Of course, we would have to provide the staff to operate the cameras, but that could be done at a significantly less price than $77,000. So I thought, since this is another option, that we should table it, let that vendor come, and at least make a pitch to see if it's something that we want to consider. That is going to save us $50,000, $60,000. I told the vendor, you have to wait until it goes out for bid, thinking that was going to go out for bid, but apparently it didn't go out for bid. So that was a mistake on my part telling the vendor that.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I completely support the idea of videotaping, but it seems too expensive for and especially every year we spend $27,000. So we need to investigate more options, and us to make the decision to spend maybe less cost on equipment and service. So I'm ready to make that decision.
Any other comments?
Well, one other question. The other part of that recommendation was to obtain legal counsel regarding video recording. Did you get legal counsel?
Yes, we did. Do you want to give an update on that part?
So yes, we did. And the response from legal counsel was, should the board choose to have video recording the board meetings and make those video recordings available to the public, we would need to make sure that we provided signage throughout the building, and particularly in the boardroom, and that this meeting was going to be video recorded, and that the video recording would be made available to the public. And then the other item was, when we are, the recommendation from legal counsel was, when we are inviting the public to come to the meeting, when we're inviting students to come to a board meeting for recognition, or we have an interest in next year looking at having our students say the pledge and some of those other types of things, that it's recommended that we provide a letter to them that says, we'd like for you to come to our board meeting, we'd like to recognize you for your accomplishment or whatnot. Please note that this meeting is being video recorded, and the video recording will be made available to the public to make sure that the student identity pieces are, that they know, so it's going to be made available to the public. And then the last recommendation is make sure we review our board policy, and that our board policy is updated to reflect video recording.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? It was my understanding after the last meeting that the options were for the full Rolls-Royce version, for a cheaper version, which most members felt that it wouldn't be appropriate for the standard that we want to convey of our district, and then for audio only, what the cost would be for uploading audio only, but maybe I misunderstood. So we have the item that was brought forth was for the videotaping of a standard that would be a high quality reflective of the image that the district would want to portray. So there's a motion. Any other discussion?
I've talked to at least 10 people every time I go to a school, and no one is interested in watching it. I haven't seen anybody but one person come to this board meeting or two come and ask for it. If we want to look into it for future, I'm in favor of that. I just assume stay with the audio for a while and let's see how it works.
I can tell you that when I heard that Mr. Humphreys videotaped the Personnel Commission meeting, I watched that today and had 11 hits as of this morning. The meeting was last night. So since last night to this morning, I had 11 hits.
I would also say, though, that Mr. Humphreys called and asked individuals to watch it as well. Any other discussion? And just as a point of information, just a few weeks ago at the National School Boards Conference, there were several school board members there from various areas in Texas, which is always referenced with the video recording issue because it was made mandatory that they go into, that they had to videotape all meetings, everybody, you know, cities, municipalities, school districts, et cetera, all had to videotape their meetings. And so while I was there, I had the opportunity to discuss it at length with 4 different board members from Texas, and all 4 of them unequivocally said that they hate it. They said that they've seen more grandstanding by their board members. They've seen individuals who no longer want to speak during public comments. They stated that the attendance at their meeting has not changed. It's still the same people who come to their meetings, and that the number of viewers who watch the online meetings was significantly low for the cost that they had to put out for it. I asked each one of them point blank, was it worth it? That was my final question to all of them, and all 4 of them said no from various regions across Texas where it's now mandatory, and they talked about how that funding could be used for other items. And I know we're not Texas, but that's one that was constantly brought up in the comments to the board to videotape. So I definitely sought out these individuals at the conference to ask them specifically how they felt about it.
I would just like to share with the board, I'm a member of the Industry Manufacturing Council, and just got a newsletter on the side. And under legislation update is support, they're asking for support of the California Legislature Transparency Act, which requires that the legislature to ensure audiovisual recordings of all public procedures are publicly accessible on the internet within 24 hours and archived for 20 years thereafter. So we might not have a choice.
Well, it did say audio or video. I support audio.
No, it says to ensure audio-visual when we're...
I thought it was audio.
Audio-visual recording.
Yeah.
It's visual with audio.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's either we're going to be forced into it eventually, or we can do it on our own because we want to be a leader rather than a follower. When you look at the total budget, and it's this other vendor, which we're not even giving that person an opportunity, if they come in at 10, 15,000, I mean, that is nothing, you know, out of a $140 million budget. If that person can do it for, you know, 10, 15,000. But I think that we should at least table it to let that other vendor show what that person can do.
So there's a motion on the floor to table this agenda item. Any further discussion or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Motion fails. 2-3. Is there another motion? For any other options, we still are on the same topic. There was, no, if we talking about, do we want to move forward with the videotaping as presented on the agenda?
Can I make a motion that we entertain a bid from this vendor?
That's, yeah, I don't think that that's what we're talking about, entertaining bids. Right now, the agenda item as listed states that if it's the desire of the board to video record meetings, the board should take action to approve the video recording at the approximate startup cost of $77,902 and approximately $27,650 annually thereafter from the district general fund. So either you can make a motion to support this, or
Well, I still don't think that, you know, I don't think that the recommendation was fulfilled that was documented in the minutes, and that is to give us options. We got one option, and that was it. We didn't get three different options. And like I said, I originally asked for a cafeteria plan that was then changed because people didn't understand cafeteria. It should have been a la carte menu, you know, where you have, you know, two video cameras versus one video camera, a HD video camera versus a 3D camera. I mean, those are options that we can use and pick and choose. So that the board didn't make the decision, the superintendent made the decision.
you could make a motion not to accept this recommendation.
Which is no motion at all. As a
Which you
secretary,
just
the board
let it
takes a
die.
motion and this item dies, and we provide different direction.
So again, I ask, is there a motion?
So what would that be, make a motion not to accept?
Just
No.
no motion, it dies.
Oh.
Stay silent and the item dies.
Is there any reason after we use the audio for a little while, Mr. Malcolm can ask to have it back on the agenda and use some of them if it's asked for, or is it?
You don't get any time to have something agendized. Did you hear the question? Okay. I could barely hear, so I wanted to make sure everybody heard her.
We're gonna give you audio.
Yeah.
The audio doesn't give you transparency.
They're words, whether you look at me while I'm saying them or you just listen. So is there no motion? And the item dies. Would there be any additional direction provided to cabinet at this time?
I would like to see if we can get another bid, but I'm seeing my head shake, so.
No, I was answering,
Oh.
Dennis thought we didn't make, there was some communication on whether or not we had a vote. We did vote on, the motion that was on the table, we
Yeah.
voted. So that it was staff, we followed our parliamentary procedure. So if that wasn't you, I apologize.
Because, you know, I go back to what some people have said in the past, like these podiums here, that we vote for an audio system, but we really don't know exactly what that audio system encompasses, or what it's going to look like, or the additional cost to tear this apart that's not factored into that. Here we make a vote on something.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Malkin, the point of order, because the motion item died, so is there, at this point, is there a specific direction you would like to provide to cabinet? That's what we want. Okay, so specific direction.
And I'm actually going to correct that, and I apologize to the president of the board, because there's not a discussion that's happening because the item has been closed. So that direction would come in comments at the end of the meeting.
Okay, sorry, my mistake. Okay, so moving on, Personnel Commission budget. The Personnel Commission will present its proposed fiscal year 2016-17 budget to the board for receipt and concurrence. Do I have a motion to receive and concur with the proposed fiscal year 2016-2017 Personnel Commission budget? I have a motion by Donna Friedman,
I second.
a second by Lynn Evankamp. Discussion?
Yes.
Mr. Malkin?
Few things. I noticed in the budget that under operating expenses, the $10,000 was taken out for the classification compensation study. My question on that, first of all, where is the money going to come from? And secondly, does that change the personnel's commission involvement in the classification and compensation study?
I'm going to answer one question, lead in that wasn't asked specifically. So the budget for the Personnel Commission, what the board is viewing this evening, comes from the district general fund. And so then answering your specific question, where would the classification study be funded from? It will come from the district general fund. So the funding will not be given to the Personnel Commission to do the study, but it's still the same pot of money. It's coming from the district general fund, whether it remains in the district general fund and pays for the compensation study, or the classification study, or is given to the commission, and the commission in turn pays for the classification study. It's the same set of dollars. Then your second question was, does this change the role of the commission? It does create a joint interest. The CSEA, the district, and the Personnel Commission all have a joint interest in this project, and so we'd be working collaboratively.
Would the study prioritize the clerical positions as priority with this study?
The interest at this point from the conversations that have happened between the three parties that I've mentioned is that we would do a classification study of all of our positions in 1 year.
All of it 1 year?
Correct.
For $10,000?
No, it's not $10,000, no.
I think so.
The proposal, we would take it to bid and the proposal would come to the board for approval. And again, in consult and working with our Personnel Commission and with our CSEA. But that is the interest of, our latest interest and our latest discussions have been to do all of the classifications, have them all reviewed during the 16-17 school year. And it will be of additional cost. There are some potential risks and downfalls of spreading it out over a period of years, and all parties have an interest in not doing everything we could to avoid any downfalls.
My concern, I mean, it could be done, but my concern would be the workload on the staff to do all the positions in 1 year. And after watching that video on the PC Commission yesterday, and concern about efficiency and whether they can do with less staff, and then do a study of all positions, is a tremendous task to take on.
Actually, the task is of the consultant that you hire.
Well,
That's why you hire.
Right, but they have to, the staff here have to obtain the information, provide it. It's not like they just come in.
No, they do,
Kind
they
of hide
come
the
in,
background.
because our job descriptions are online, because our salary schedules are online, all of that, there is, granted, all staff, that's the other part of doing it collaboratively, because the HR staff and the PC staff would work on this together, but the interest is having a consultant that would do this work would minimize the impact to staff.
Any additional questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the job description for speech language pathologist assistant. The implementation of speech and language pathology assistants, or SLPAs, to assist with the speech services offered to our students who qualify as recommended. May I get a motion to approve the new position of speech language pathologist assistants and adopt the related job description? I have a motion by Donna Friedman.
Second.
Second by Carrie Chin. Discussion?
A question. Under California code that covers the speech language assistant, they have to be supervised. And the speech pathologist that we have, is it in his job duty statement as part of his job duty description? And does he get release time to do that?
So no, there is no release time to do that. What happens is it's a similar relationship that you have with a teacher and an instructional assistant in providing support, and so that teacher provides the guidance to the instructional assistant. A speech and language pathologist would work with a SLPA. A speech and language pathologist would not need release time to do that because they do not have a class and a class load. They do have a case load, but they do not have a class. And so they have different levels of flexibility within their schedule. And yes, they would work with a SLPA, and they would assign the SLPA to the duties and responsibilities that they would fulfill within the SLPA's job responsibility. And it's not direct supervision, line of sight direct supervision. That SLPA, it would have meet the requirements to be able to provide services to students without being directly supervised by line of sight.
Any additional questions or comments? All in favor? Oh, yeah, I did get a motion, sorry. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have our board policy revision. The revised board policy 1325 outlines appropriate advertisements and information promotional materials that may or may not be approved by the Rowland Unified School District designee for distribution to students and parents, guardians. As requested at the first reading on April 19, 2016, Board Policy 1325, page 1325C, item number 6, has been revised to include electronic cigarettes, electronic hookahs, and other vapor-emitting devices with or without nicotine content that mimic the use of tobacco products. May I get a motion to receive for second reading and adoption the revised Board Policy 1325, advertising and promotion?
I so move.
I have a motion by Lynn Evenkamp, a second by Donna Friedman. Discussion?
Yes, I have a question on this. Item number 6, under, I guess it's second to the last page, where we added the vapor cigarettes. I didn't see the word alcohol in place. And when I asked, they said that it was included in intoxicants. I would like to see the word alcohol specified separately as an item. I think that's something that a lot of our students do have problems with.
And so if that's the pleasure of the board to add specifically the word alcohol, we would need an amended motion and adoption.
So it would basically read, two materials are advertising for tobacco, alcohol, electronic cigarettes, electronic hookahs, and other vapor-emitting devices and so forth.
And I'm going to defer for a minute to Teresa where we're looking at that item because it's where Mr. Malkin has inserted the word alcohol, because it was, I'm not looking at it. Well, I just want to make sure that we put it in the correct location. I think it's before intoxicants is what my question was. So would it be the pleasure, you might need to hold this on the side. So Mr. Malkin, would, rather than putting alcohol prior to the tobacco products, to put the word alcohol before or after intoxicants?
Makes no difference.
Okay. So we would add the word alcohol to item 6 before or after intoxicants. So if that is the pleasure of the board, we would need an amended motion.
This is the second.
This is second reading.
And we wish to leave the rest of the people.
We have to get a rescinded on the motion, that would have to be rescinded, and then a request for the amendment as indicated by Mr. Malkin.
Correct.
Okay.
May I rescind my motion?
So we have the motion that's rescinded, so then can I get a new motion adding in the statement as getting ready to be read by Dr. Mitchell?
And it would be item under number 6 of the board policy to add the word alcohol prior to the word intoxicants.
Okay, otherwise everything else stays the same. So may I get a motion?
I make a motion.
First by David Malkin,
Intoxicants.
I'll second.
a second by Lynn Evenkamp. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have a resolution. The Rowland Unified School District joins State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Tom Torkelson, and the California School Nurses Organization in declaring Wednesday, May 11, 2016 as National School Nurse Day in order to salute the vital role that school nurses play in the success of our public schools and the health of our children. May I get a motion to adopt a resolution and proclaim the week of May 11th as National School Nurses Day? I have a motion by Donna Friedman, a second by Lynn Evenkamp. All in favor? Discussion. Sorry, discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have pupil personnel. RUSD student number 15-1605 was expelled from the Rowland Unified School District by the Board of Education on January 11, 2016. He has since completed all requirements of this. He or she has since completed all requirements of the rehabilitation plan and is eligible to be readmitted to the Rowland Unified School District. It is recommended that student 15-1605 be readmitted to the district effective June 6, 2016, with placement at Santana High School. May I get a motion for readmittance of student 15-1605 to the Rowland Unified School District effective June 6, 2016, with placement at Santana? I have a motion by Donna Friedman. A second by Carrie Chin. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Our USD student approved the stipulated suspended expulsion of student number 15-1613 effective May 11, 2016, with placement in the home instruction program within the Rowland Unified School District. Parents have waived the due process of procedures as approved by the board. May I get a motion to approve the stipulated suspension or expulsion, suspended expulsion of student number 15-1613 effective May 11, 2016, with placement in the home instruction program within the Rowland Unified School District? Parents have waived the due process of procedures as approved by the board. I have a motion by Lynn Ebenkamp. Second by Carrie Chin. Discussion? All in favor? Oh, I'm sorry, did you have a question, Dave? Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you said something. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Approve the stipulated expulsions of students number 15-1612 effective May 11, 2016 from all schools and programs of the Rowland Unified School District with referral to a county or alternative school outside of the district for placement in an educational program. May I get a motion to approve the expulsion of student 15-1614 effective May 11th from all schools and programs of the Rowland Unified School District with referral to a county or alternative school outside of the district for placement in an educational program? I have a motion by Donna Friedman. A second by Lynn Ebenkamp. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the consent calendar. All matters listed under consent calendar are considered by the Board of Education to be routine or sufficiently supported by prior or accompanying reference materials and information not requiring additional discussion. They will be enacted by a motion as referenced below. There will be no separate discussion of these items prior to the time the Board of Education votes on the motion unless members of the board, staff, or public request specific items be discussed, added to, or deleted from the consent calendar for separate action. Members of the public may request that a specific item be removed from the consent calendar by completing the written request to address the board form card and presenting it to the secretary of the board in accordance with Board Bylaw 9322. All consent items are indicated by the designation after the item title. May I get a motion to approve and or ratify items on the consent calendar with the removal of the following agenda items? Number 8B14, item 8C3, and item 8D2. I have a motion by Donna Friedman. Second by Carrie Chin. All in favor of approving those items of consent with the exception of the 3 items noted, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we move to item number 8B14, contract agreement between Irvine Unified School District and Rowland Unified School District. This item was pulled for discussion. May I get a motion to accept the contract agreement between Irvine Unified School District and Rowland Unified School District? Yeah. I have a motion by Lynn Ebenkamp. A second by Donna Friedman. Any discussion?
Yes.
Ms. Friedman?
I pulled this because it's part of PBIS, and as a teacher, there's a lot of complaining as far as discipline. And I really run a positive classroom, and so I believe in a lot of positive. You're going to get a lot of results. But I have our teachers at Rowland and at my school too, that there's not enough discipline that goes along with this great program. And I had talked to Dr. Mitchell about this, but she said that discipline is in play. Actually, there's going to be a discipline committee and things like that, so that put me more at ease by voting yes on this.
Okay.
I
Any further questions or discussions?
I understand that this contract is for one individual to come out to do the training.
Actually, it's a team of people that come out and do the training. The reason that the contract is with another school district is one of those individuals is still employed with the district. And so that individual is on loan for a period of time working with us.
And the training will occur for teachers at all grade levels or for certain grade levels?
So this year we did our cohort 1, which consisted of 8 schools. And next year we will do cohort 2, and then we will have a cohort 3. To be able to train all of our schools. But we also are using a trainer of trainer models. And so while the trainers will take cohort 1 all the way through tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, the 3 years of the training and implementation, our staff will begin training cohort 2 under the supervision of our experts, so a trainer of trainer models, so that when the trainers are no longer in our district, we still have the skills, knowledge, and abilities to carry the program forward.
And is it starting at a certain grade level and then working its way up or down?
No, right, it is not at a grade level, it's by school.
Any additional questions or comments?
I think one of the things, if I may, and I know that wasn't directed at me, so if I may, just in terms of the discussion for PBIS, there's still, I think, a lot of confusion around what is PBIS. And I think it's important to recognize PBIS is not a magic pill. And so it isn't, and it's beginning to be discussed as this buzzword, and that is not what it is either. So it is a team-based approach. It's a proactive approach to teaching students expected behaviors. So we don't expect students to come to school and know how to do algebraic equations. We don't expect students to come to school and know how to do, write, eloquent 5-paragraph essays. We teach that. But we've always had an assumption in education that we didn't need to teach expected behaviors. Kids would come to school and that would just be known. Well, with 14,000 students in our district, they come from 14,000 different households for the most part. And they have different set of behavior expectations in the home. And so it's teaching expected behaviors within the school. It also reinforces and recognizes students who are able to model the behaviors and has systems in place for corrective action. So it isn't that, that we're going to say that we're a PBIS school and then everybody's going to behave, perfectly. That isn't going to happen. But it's done on a tiered approach. So many of the behavior issues will resolve because students will know how they're expected to behave. But there still will be behaviors that we are going to absolutely need to be addressed. And then there will be at the very top of the pyramid, the very top tier, a much smaller percentage of students who will engage in egregious behaviors that we'll need to address at a more significant level. But also, the training piece also has how do we work with and how do we deal with students who have behavior issues. So again, it's not, to say you're a PBIS school and do nothing doesn't make you a PBIS school. And our schools that have gone through the first cohort, our first cohort that have gone through the first year of training, the staff is being trained, but there's been no implementation. We have done no rollout to students. That will first happen at the beginning of next school year. So our staff may know the terminology and some of the work, but it has not yet made an impact on students because it hasn't been introduced to them yet.
Any additional questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next we have approval and ratification of purchase orders, consent items. May I get a motion to approve and/or ratify the purchase orders as listed attached to the agenda? I have a motion by Donna Friedman. Second by Carrie Chen. Discussion, Mr. Chen?
Yes, I put this item because you showed the unfortunate attachment. Oh. Okay, so the reason I put it is because I want to show the public that this is new format. It's a brand new format. I appreciate Dr. Mitchell putting a lot of hours to study and research other district and find out this is the best format to present the purchase order.
since we don't have it to show, so that would be what was the change?
So following much discussion and working with the board, as the board has seen, we've changed the purchase order presentation. And so it's now sorted by fund with a total at the bottom of each fund. And there's a little more detail and information that's provided as well. And we no longer separated out what is greater than or less than $2,000. So all purchase orders are together. It is a longer document but provides greater detail. And I believe that it meets the interest that the board has expressed. And if there's further changes the board desires, they would just need to let me know. That's what I had said, but didn't say.
No problem.
Okay, yeah, we've seen your boxes keep coming up.
I wanted to add too that
Yes, Ms.
I really
Freeman.
like the new format. I know last meeting I said let's add one line, and by seeing that one line, I know where the money's going to. There was just a few miscellaneous I wasn't sure of, and talked to Dr. Mitchell about them, but it was so easy to read. Okay, those are Apple computers. This was for Amazon for this school. Much easier to be able to vote yes when this comes up. So thank you very much for doing it.
Thank you, Dr. Mitchell, and yeah,
Great.
the staff, yeah.
And to Rosanna.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And whatever the SO said, the line, the Wi-Fi is up. So take a look. Thank you.
I would agree with what both Donna and Carrie has mentioned, but I'd like to add one other thing, is that on a couple of items, where you mentioned miscellaneous, just put a word of caution on when you use the word miscellaneous on a $40,000 item, that I think that you need to try to avoid that. There's a couple of items. There's one on 422 for support skills services. This labels miscellaneous, 22,600. There's another one, I think, 40,000. That was under miscellaneous. So I think the format's great. It's just a little fine tuning now, and just kind of watching where miscellaneous gets placed on the larger items.
Discussing the staff, very good.
Yeah. But it's a great format.
Any additional comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have approval of agreement between the Breakthrough Coach and the Rowland Unified School District. May I get a motion to approve the agreement between the Breakthrough Coach and the Rowland Unified School District? I have a motion by Carrie Chin. A second by Lynn Ebenkamp. Discussion, Mr. Chin?
Yeah, put that because I have a question. Who are these teams and assisting and tutor is including the site tutor too, or how is the training taking place and where it's taking place, and how many hours and funding, and how do you evaluate yourself?
So the training is a training that is set up for a team. So it's an administrator and a secretary, be it administrative assistant, office assistant, clerical support, that attends the training together. It's a 2-day training. The administrator goes for 2 days. The secretary or clerical support goes for 1 of those 2 days. The location of the training has not yet been finalized, but is tentatively going to be at Nogales in their new manor. The cost is on the board agenda. The funding of it is in from our district general fund for professional development and training. What we did is, this is something that has been talked about previously. It's been around, it's been a long-standing training that's been around for quite a long time. I believe it was probably 15 years ago that I participated in the training. There was an opportunity in San Diego, and so I asked if any of our administrators and their secretaries would be interested in attending. We did have 4, so to send some people to see if it would be valuable to our district. So we did send 4. We sent John Stelmont and his secretary from Jellic. We sent Steve Edmonds and his secretary from Santana. We sent Carlos Ochoa and his secretary from Giano, and Mariela Moscal, assistant principal at Nogales, and her secretary. And so the 8 attended the 2-day training. and came back and provided feedback that it was one of the best professional developments that they participated in their career in terms of the work that they do as instructional leaders and the relationship between you and your secretary and the work that needs, how the work and conversation between the two of you, so it releases them to be in classrooms and to be concentrating on what needs to take place to change instruction in a school. We talked about it at a district leadership team meeting with both classified and certificated leaders and managers, and discussed it there, and we are bringing that training then to our full district. And it's June 20th and 21st, should the board choose to approve it.
Thank you.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. I apologize, I didn't have my glasses on and I missed one of our students, our USD students stipulated expulsion, so I need to go back to that. And it's our USD student number 15-1612, stipulated expulsion, approved the stipulated expulsion of student number 15-1612 effective May 11, 2016 from all schools and programs of the Rowland Unified School District with referral to a county or alternative school outside of the district for placement in an educational program. I need a motion. I have a motion by Donna Friedman. Second by Lynn Ebenkamp. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have our conference section, which is an informational report of conference attendance. You've been provided that attached to your agenda. Notice of upcoming public hearings on May 24th, 2016, Educator Effectiveness Block Grant. A public meeting will be held on May 24th, 2016 to meet the parameters set forth by the state for the approval of the Educator Effectiveness Block Grant Spending Plan. This is an informational item only. Next, we have notice of public hearing for the educator, same thing, I'm sorry. Oh, notice of upcoming public hearing for LCAMP, even my glasses aren't helping. The Board of Education will hold a public hearing pursuant to California Education Code 52062 at the regularly scheduled board meeting of June 14, 2016 to receive comment on local control accountability plan for the years of 2016 through 19. And that's an informational item only. And next we will move to our board comments. Mr. Malkin?
Okay, first of all, I want to congratulate all of the winners that were recognized earlier in the afternoon, 4 o'clock or 4:30 for the awards. It's sad that we can't give every one of our students an award because they all do so well. But I'm happy that we were able to recognize the number that we were able to. Secondly, I want to just mention briefly, it was a consent item about Nogales High School in Santana doing the solar boat competition. I think it's great that Santana is involved in that. Like the student rep said, people have a stereotype of Santana, as to what they're capable of doing. And I think this breaks the stereotype that they're involved in this competition. May 15th to the 21st is Classified Employee Week. So happy Classified Employee Week early. And it's also National Police Week. So the police officers on campus. Under one of the consent items, I don't know if people saw it, but we have a contract now with Laura Tovar. I don't know if the old timers here remember Laura. Fantastic person, outstanding. I'm so happy that she's coming back out of retirement. If you have young kids, she's got great books that teaches young kids how to read. I attended all of the gold ribbon celebrations and some of the open community celebrations. I feel like I'm a caterer now. But I think we really owe a big thanks to Gina Ward for coordinating this. She walks into Sam's Club now and they get her cakes automatically. She's the cake lady. And I want to thank Dr. Mitchell for the signage that you're putting outside of the schools, and Alex for your staff and arranging that. It looks fabulous. Well, Gina designs it, Alex gets it up, and you're behind them poking them. So all three of you, I mean, it looks great, and it really makes a big impression in the community. And I really think that if we have a few dollars left over, we should get Gina a better, bigger, wide-angle lens. She's already squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. There's another way to solve the problem. That's to get her a wide-angle lens. I attended the dance program at Nogales, the New York on My Mind. Fabulous program, absolutely fabulous. What Donna Nelson has done over there is unbelievable. These are kids that take dance as an elective. They're not majoring in dance. And the number of students that performed Broadway hits was just really, I really enjoyed it. I also attended the jazz concert with Citrus College and the Rowland High Rowland High Music Festival. I mean, we have so many kids in a music program in this district, and they're making do with some instruments that are 30 years old. And I really hope that in my term that I'm on this board, that I'll see advances in the music and arts program and money to support it, you know, as far as instruments and other supplies that they need. Right now, I go over there and I buy hot chocolate and give them $5 to help support their uniforms that they're wearing. And in the dance competition, you can see they weren't all able to get the same dress at the same store. So that there was a mixture on some of them. So we really need to support it administratively as well as financially. Open houses, I went to CBOC, Bond Committee, and PTA Council, was all good. One of the things I'm finding out by going to all these events is that we really need a master calendar in this district. There's times where things conflict with each other. There's things that are happening that I'm not even aware of until I hear word of mouth. It'd just be great if there was one master calendar that people had access to. And then I'm looking forward to Senior Award Night at Nogales and Rowland. And I wish all of the seniors that are graduating good luck in their career paths, wherever they might be. That's it. Thank you.
First, I want to start with saying that I love the awards today at 4:30. All those kids, it was just, I smiled for an entire hour. And telling them congratulations, that was really fun. It was really nice. We have some really brilliant kids. Also, I want to welcome Adriana and Ryan. And then I will miss the two ladies that always talked every meeting. They were so good and they're graduating, and I really enjoyed them a lot. And the consent items, there was two things I wanted to bring up. All the summer programs that are going to happen this year are for the at-risk kids, GATE and special ed. It looks really good, everything that's going on at Rowland. And Shellen and Jellic are going to team up and do a writer's workshop that costs $8,000. So I was asking Dr. Mitchell some questions about that. So Shellen received a grant for $8,000 to let that happen. And so the technology pieces that they're writing back and forth. And it just sounds really good that all the teachers are involved. And now actually 3rd through 5th are involved doing that, which is great. Next, I went to the ROC occupational program. And a lot of kids from Rowland and received a lot of money, but there were kids that got awards from Santana and Nogales also. That was really nice. I attended the jazz night at Nogales and watched the Oswald students do 3 performances with Christopher Shota Harakawa. He is always amazing, and when I saw him I said, great job. He said, no, it's the kids. So he gives the kids the credit even though he's doing terrific. It was a different kind of musical entertainment. Somebody was there from another college to talk about how they did and help the kids. And he turned over to Christopher and said, wow, you did this without a piano, without something amazing. So he complimented the kids. I attended 2 open houses, and I knew when I became a board member this would be one of my favorite things to go to the open houses. And of course it turned out to be one of my favorite things. My first one was at Shellen. And I was so lucky that Teresa, the office manager, said, oh, hi, okay, I'm going to show you around. So I had a tour of all the classrooms except 3 of them. She knows everyone, not just the teachers and the aides and everybody, but she knew the parents, the kids, would introduce me to everyone. It was wonderful. But first I saw the book fair, and then I learned about the master's program. Art was evident in almost all the classrooms, and Teresa explained about that. There's a mural for the severely handicapped students created off on the wall, so she showed me that, which was amazing. And then she took me to the EDBD classroom where Mr. Foster taught special ed kids, and he said that this was the best district ever. He's worked for other districts, and he said this is the best district ever. To find out he has all these different grade levels, and it's a special ed program. And then he said he had this box light, and Teresa said, oh, can you show us how it works? And so on it, it had the picture of the students and teacher, and it had math games, and it was a touch screen. And he said that he uses it like for number line, 4th graders versus the 5th grade. He teaches sportsmanship and support. And he said the special ed program is outstanding. So kudos for the special ed program to get that to him. And he really loves it, and the kids are learning. And the next open house I went to was Lanford's open house. And all I can say is pictures, pictures everywhere. All over their doors and everything. It was really nice. Melinda Vallegos, the teacher, had iPad scanning. She said, oh, I have to just pick up an iPad and scan. I had no idea how to do that, so she had to show me. And here her kids are going around. After you put the QR codes in, 4 kids come up and they're explaining what they did. They're explaining the project that they did. It was amazing. I was able to meet Gail, the RSP teacher, and talk to her for a while about the program. And I saw kids reading to parents in several classrooms. 1st grade teachers wore the same t-shirt. That just showed me there's a lot of teamwork going on, which is so important while you're teaching. And I saw submarine treats made with Fruit Loops, Cheerios, and a Twinkie. And octopus, I teach 5th grade, so I'm not used to this little cute stuff, but I was very impressed. And then octopuses with glued on Cheerios on the legs and everything like that. One classroom had assigned areas to show work to parents, then parents could write a letter to the child. There was monthly writings for the 1st grade classroom, so you saw from September how they have improved, which was very impressive. A 1st grade classroom was doing research using an app called Aurasma. Picture comes to life. Students talking and explaining, and I said, really, this is 1st grade? I don't even think my 5th graders could do this. And she taught them how to do research, and then she explained that she went to that Apple program that a lot of teachers got to go to. I forgot, is the class that 20 teachers got to go to, is that it? To Apple? I don't know, but learned so much, brought it back to the classroom, and these kids talk about 21st century, we have it. It was great. So I really enjoyed that a lot. Okay, that's all. Thank you. Until I'm real excited about it.
Talk fast like me.
Talk too fast, too slow. I get excited.
Mr. Chair?
I made 2 information requests this month, and the first one is I asked Dr. Mitchell to provide me the report of inter-district transferring. I'd like to see how many kids transfer out of our district. Use the reason as a dual immersion Mandarin program from transfer to our neighboring district. The reason is I think many of us received a postcard recruiting our kids to attend the neighboring districts Mandarin Chinese immersion program. Both Walnut and Hacienda provide a program, and they attract a lot of kids. So I asked Dr. Mitchell to provide me the information how many kids use that as a reason to transfer out of our district. So to see if they're feasible for us to implement that program, to implement the immersion Mandarin Chinese dual immersion program in our district. And the other request I made is the invoices for purchase the Chromebooks. Alex provided, and Dr. Mitchell provided the invoices for purchase of 498 Chromebooks at that time. And I want to see if there are warranty there. So it isn't how we don't buy warranty anymore. And a few months ago, I put a little attention to the purchase order and it was, we spent $80 a piece for the warranty, and I feel it's not necessary. So this time, we don't buy the warranty anymore. So we save $80 for 490 pieces. That is the purchase order. We save about almost $40,000. So I think that's a pretty big savings by only whatever is necessary. Yeah. So we have to handle it carefully, don't break it. Yeah, I attend the Gold Ribbon celebration at 7 Gold Ribbon schools. The teachers, staff, and parents, the students, they all work very hard. And I attended the RHCCC meeting last night on Monday, and I was the representative for. So I made some information sharing to the audience in RHCCC. Happy Classified Employees Week, and we're just so happy. I see the proud parents. I see the faces and when they're holding the cameras. So I see the future of these kids will be very successful in their career. Thank you, Dr. Mitchell, for your hard work, and it's very successful. Thank you.
Well, I won't go through all the stuff that all the other board members have, but I've run into Mr. Malkin at several events, so I won't repeat them again. It's a lot of fun. But I am able to get around to the campuses and see 21st century learning going on, and it is happening in Rowland. Every year that I've been on the board, that I go out and see the classrooms, talk to the teachers, I see things getting better and better, and the teachers are getting stronger. Our campuses are looking better, thanks to the Admin Services Department, everybody taking pride in our campuses. Paint, even the paint, has helped a lot of them. And it not only helps our kids want to come to school because they have a nice place to go and learn, but it also helps us be good neighbors because it helps property values. If the schools look nice, then the neighbors are proud of the schools too. So, you know, it's a whole picture. Learning, of course, is the number one thing, but you know, we have to be good neighbors and good stewards for our kids. I hope those of you who are moms had a happy Mother's Day. I've kind of, we've talked about Santana a little bit and the students that speak, but last year I was at the Santana graduation for the first time. And it's kind of a special graduation. It's smaller, and I really enjoy it because you get these students that get up there and speak from their heart. How some of them were really having trouble. They were kind of floundering, and they were going to have to go to this other school called a continuation school, and they didn't want to go, but their parents were making them go. And when they get there, they just find themselves. A lot of them do. They just, you know, they're really cared for. They're listened to, and a lot of these kids turn themselves around due to the nurturing of the staff and what they do at Santana. And I've even requested to do Santana again this year for my graduation because I really did enjoy it last year. I had planned to go to the Solar Cup, but I'm not going to be able to. But if any of you can go, it's really fun because you see all these different schools competing on the lake, and one kid's motor comes out or the battery doesn't work any longer and they're scurrying trying to figure out how to get it going. But it's a good experience for kids. I think we have a Solar Cup from both Santa and Nogales, if I'm not mistaken. They're both going to be in the competition. So I think I'm going to stop now. I only have 2 more schools to go to. I promise to have them done in the next 2 weeks. So thank you all for sticking it out tonight.
As all the previous other board members have stated, I want to congratulate all of our Gold Ribbon schools. And I do apologize that I haven't been able to make a lot of the ceremonies. You know, I work at a school as well. This is busy time of year for all of us, and my boss is going to fire me if I continue taking a bunch of time off. So my thoughts are with all of them. I'm proud of them, and I'll let them know that at a later date. I attended some open houses, and I just want to say that I was very impressed by the use of the Chromebooks at both sites that I attended at Hurley and Northam. The students were so excited to show me what they were doing with their Chromebooks, and I was really, really impressed to see how it was enhancing student learning. Congratulations to the number of students who received scholarships at the ROP Student Recognition Ceremony. Rowland really received a lot of scholarships that night, and it was a really nice ceremony. I also, as Mr. Malkin said, wanted to acknowledge Donna Nelson, the ASB advisor at Nogales High School, who also oversees the Emeralds dance team. I've been attending their shows since before I was on the board, and I cannot believe how much that program has grown under Donna Nelson's leadership. So hats off to her and hats off to the dancers as well. I also want to acknowledge the 16 Rowland track team members who are headed to CIF this Saturday at Moore Park High School, especially the pole vaulters, because a lot of you may not know that last year they only had 2 pole vaulters, and this year they are up to 15. And 2 of them are going to CIF. And if you haven't seen them, it's amazing. So if anybody has the opportunity, please support these players as they seek CIF championships. And that's this Saturday. I don't know what time though, I'm sorry. I just drop in when I can. I also want to wish good luck to Nogales and Santana Solar Boat teams and Lake Skinner this weekend. I wish I could attend. I'm spreading myself thin in a bunch of different places this weekend and don't have the time to drive out there, but I know they'll do a fabulous job. I also wanted to let all of the staff know how much we appreciate you as you celebrate Teacher Appreciation Week, which is past, I know, but I still want to acknowledge you. Classified Appreciation Week, Police Appreciation Week, and Nurses Appreciation Week. You know, working in education, I understand firsthand the challenges as well as the rewards that come with it. And so I really do appreciate all that each one of you do because it truly does take everybody to make it happen for our students. My fun thing that I got to do is I have this annual tradition where I crash prom parties. So anytime I know that Nogales and Rowland have their proms, I just kind of drive through a couple of neighborhoods, see a prom party, I stop and I crash it. So I was able to crash 2 of Rowland's prom parties, so Nogales kids better be on the lookout this weekend as I will be walking through my neighborhood looking for 2 parties to crash. And I'd also like to ask the superintendent to provide cost of uploading audio minutes to the website as you look more into that since with the audio upgrade. And finally, during public comments, there was a statement made that the board should have access to the computers here, or should have an office and access to a computer here at the district office to have real-time information. And I just want to say that there is no way that I could operate the computer programs that they use here. The only one that I'm familiar with is the one that's used at the school sites, which is Aries. The financial accounting software, I am not a financial accountant. I would go in there and touch something and ruin everything for the district. So I don't think that it's feasible to ask that the board members have access to those computer systems that are used by the various departments. On a different note, I want to make sure that everyone here knows that anytime I have asked for information, be it financial, be it related to the bonds, facilities, anything, I have received it, and I have received it in a very timely manner. And I keep saying this, but I don't think that everyone hears me. There has been no problem with receiving information from this cabinet and this superintendent. All requests have been received by them, acknowledged, and I have gotten answers to every question that I have asked, as well as questions that have come from community members that they have asked. And just a week ago, last Friday, I had a meeting with a community member and Mr. Flores and Eric Hart, and we went over several things that this community member had questions about. So transparency is alive and well in this district, and it is moving forward. And as I always say, people need to stop living in the past and get on the train with us as we're moving on fast forward. And this high-speed rail is not the one that the state of California is doing. This one is a good one. It's working, and we're moving forward. I think that's it, and you all have a good week. So we are going to recess back to closed session at 8:58. Oh, one other thing before we recess. Some of you guys may have noticed me texting during the meeting. It is because today is my daughter's 19th birthday, and I do not wish my kids happy birthday until the time that they were born. She was born at age 25, so I had to text her happy birthday. So we will recess back to closed session now at 8:59 p.m. Have a good week. Thank you. He'll be home for 2 weeks, and then he goes back for summer school.
Kelly sent me something right as soon as I free video time.
Okay, all of the board members, staff members, so forth were offered free video time, and they were turned down. It was turned down, so they had their chance, okay? And so we'll just turn it off right now and let it go forward.